Don Moen was born on June 29, 1950 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and has since become a highly renowned and important person in the field of Christian praise music. Through his authorship, composition, and performance of songs that have had a significant influence on the Christian faith, he has devoted his entire life to this endeavor. Throughout the course of his career, Don Moen has become synonymous with worship that is performed from the heart, and his songs continue to be sung by millions of people all over the world. Don was exposed to music for the first time at a young age because he was raised in a Christian household. The fact that his parents encouraged him to pursue his passion for music led to him beginning to play the piano when he was only 6 years old. From an early age, it was clear that he possessed a talent for music, and he quickly acquired a strong interest in worship music. Don started playing and singing in his church when he was a youngster, and it was then that it became abundantly evident that music would play a significant role in his life. After graduating from high school, Don went on to pursue a degree in music at Oral Roberts University, which is located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In the midst of this period, his connection with God became more profound, and he started to have a sense of called to utilize his musical abilities for the purpose of ministry. Following the completion of his education, he went on to earn a position at the esteemed Christian record label Integrity Music, where he would eventually become a prominent figure in the community of praise music. It was because of his position at Integrity Music that he was able to write and produce a wide range of songs that would go on to become standard components of contemporary worship. During a period of personal suffering, Don Moen wrote the song, "God Will Make a Way," which went on to become one of his early and most successful triumphs. Innumerable believers came to view the song as an anthem of inspiration and hope throughout their lives. Don's career took a significant leap forward with the release of God Will Make a Way, both in terms of his composition and his leadership abilities as a worship leader. The song's message of having faith in God and trusting in Him struck a chord with listeners on a profound level, and it immediately became a favorite in churches all over the world. This breakthrough paved the way for a succession of albums and worship projects that would further solidify Don Moen's position in the Christian music business. Because of their impact on the industry, it was throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s that Don's impact continued to slowly increase. As a result of his albums, which included Give Thanks, Praise, A Celebration, and Hearing the Angels Sing, which were extremely popular in churches, he was able to contribute to the redefining of the sound and style of contemporary praise music. In the realm of Christian music, he became a well-liked figure due to the fact that he possessed a voice that was calming and the ability to compose songs of praise that were straightforward yet powerful. He is frequently regarded as being a pioneer in the contemporary worship movement, which places an emphasis on developing a closer relationship with God via the medium of song. Throughout the course of his career, Don Moen has collaborated with a lot of exceptionally brilliant musicians and artists. Some of these individuals include Israel Houghton, Michael W. Smith, and Tommy Walker. His leadership position in the worship music community has been further strengthened as a result of his collaborations with the aforementioned musicians. In addition to this, he is well known for his leadership and the work he did with Integrity Music, where he fulfilled the roles of both songwriter and producer. As a result of his talent to lead worship, he has also been invited to churches all around the world, where he has led live worship services that have brought thousands of people together to express their sincere gratitude. Don Moen is sincerely committed to serving the Christian community all around the world, in addition to his job as a musician and songwriter through his music. Throughout his career, he has traveled extensively, performing his music for audiences all over the world. Additionally, his songs have been translated into a number of different languages. Throughout his career, he has collaborated with a wide range of ministries, utilizing his platform to bring attention to and financial support for a variety of charity organizations, notably those that assist children and families who are struggling. The lyrics of Don Moen's songs, which show his profound love for God and his desire to see people experience God's presence through worship, are a clear indication of his dedication to the ministry for which he is currently serving. People from different cultures and religious backgrounds come together to praise the one and only God via his song, which transcends both of these categories. The message that Don is trying to convey is straightforward. Worship is not about a certain genre of music or a specific location. Rather, it is about the heart of the worshiper coming before God in a state of adoration and humility. Don has written a number of books, including the Don Moen Worship Collection and Worship with Don Moen, in addition to his contributions to the world of music. The purpose of these works is to provide worship leaders, musicians, and anyone else who is interested in gaining a deeper understanding of worship with resources that are both inspirational and instructional sources. It is through his teachings and reflections on worship that people all over the world continue to be encouraged to draw closer to God via the medium of singing. The accomplishments and acclaim that Don Moen has received over his career have not diminished his modesty or his dedication to his vocation. The desire to serve others and bring glory to God through his music is something that he frequently expresses. In several interviews, he has expressed his belief that his work is a means by which he might assist people in developing a meaningful and intimate relationship with God. It is something that he emphasizes very frequently, that the ultimate goal of worship is not to elevate the musician or the music itself, but rather to direct people's attention to God and to make it easier for them to have a relationship with him. People are brought closer to God via the power of music and worship, as demonstrated by Don Moen's life and career, which serves as a testament to this power. It is impossible to overstate the significance of his contributions to the Christian faith, and his songs continue to motivate and encourage believers all across the world. Don Moen has left an unmistakable impression on the world of worship with his music, leadership, and ministry. He continues to have an influence on entire generations of Christians who are seeking to honor God through song. The trip that Don has taken, however, has been marred by times of tremendous sadness and difficulty, just like the journeys of everyone else. His personal and professional lives were both redirected as a result of an unforeseen occurrence that turned out to be one of the most heartbreaking and life-altering experiences of his whole existence. At a time when Don Moen's career was reaching new heights in the early 2000s, he was confronted with a loss that was beyond his comprehension. Laura, his cherished wife, with whom he had built a life filled with faith and love, was diagnosed with a serious illness. He had constructed their life together. Each and every member of the family was taken aback by the news. Despite the fact that Laura had always been a rock of support and strength for Don, she started exhibiting symptoms of a dramatic decline in her health, and the physicians confirmed that it was nearly intolerable for Don to contemplate the possibility of losing the person he had spent his entire life with, because he had always been deeply attached to his spouse and children. The couple had spent numerous years together, during which time they had brought up their children, traveled the world, and served others through their music and ministry. Don found his strength in Laura's unflinching support as he negotiated the trials of his public life. Laura had been there for him through the highs and lows of his career, and her unshakable support was a source of strength for him. Don never anticipated that he would have to confront the reality of losing her. He had no idea that he would have to face it. Don was forced to strike a balance between his professional and personal life as Laura's condition continued to deteriorate. Don found himself striving to keep up with the expectations of his work, while also attempting to be present for his wife and children. His ministry and music were a source of comfort for many people, but he found himself working hard to meet those needs. During this trying time, he would frequently express that his music served as both a source of comfort and a reminder of the profound faith that had always been the source of his continued strength. On the other hand, it was also a period of profound grief and introspection. Despite the fact that Don continued to serve others through his music, he was unable to manage the emotional toll that his wife's illness continued to take on him. Despite his greatest efforts, Laura passed away after a protracted struggle with illness. The voyage was long and hard, and despite his best efforts, she passed away. Her passing was the most devastating loss that Don had ever encountered, and he was left with a tremendous sense of emptiness. The amount of pain that he carried with him was incalculable, and he had a hard time coming to terms with the fact that their life and ministry partner had passed away. After Laura's loss, Don had a sense of disconnection from everything that had been so familiar to him in the past. He had always believed in the power of music to heal and bring people closer to God, but after Laura's passing, he felt alienated from everything. The music that had been a source of strength for him in the past now seemed far away, and the words that he had sang so many times appeared to reverberate in his ears in a hollow echo. The support that Don received from his family and close friends was a source of comfort for him during this difficult period. He was surrounded by his children, who had been there for him throughout his career, and they offered their love and encouragement to him. Despite the fact that the anguish of loss had weakened Don's trust in God, it continued to serve as a guiding light for him. Prayer was a source of solace for him, and as time went on, he came to the realization that even though he would never be able to replicate the love and companionship that he had shared with Laura, God's presence was still there in his circumstances. Don's close friends and family provided him with a lot of love and encouragement, which was one of the most transformational components of his healing journey. During the most difficult times in his life, they were the ones who empathized with him, listened to him, and brought to his attention the significance of the power of community. The music that he had always used as a way to communicate the love of God to other people eventually turned into a tool that he used to cure himself. The process of writing new songs, despite the fact that it was challenging at times, assisted Don in working through his loss and discovering methods to express the extent of his sadness, while also paying tribute to the love he had enjoyed with his wife. He discovered that his sorrow might serve as a bridge to those who were going through the experience of loss, and that via his music he could offer solace and hope to those who were in the greatest need of it. Despite the fact that Don's pain gradually began to lessen over the course of the years, the memory of Laura continued to be with him on a daily basis. His heart was filled with her legacy, and he discovered ways to continue honoring her by devoting his career and ministry to her memory. He carried her legacy from his heart. Don learned to live with the suffering and allowed it to shape him in ways that improved his faith and understanding of life and loss. Despite the fact that the anguish never totally disappeared, Don was able to learn how to live with it. The remarkable perseverance that Don Moen displayed in the face of personal sorrow is one of the reasons that he is still renowned. It is a story of terrible pain, but it is also a narrative of hope, healing, and the tremendous power that faith and family can have. He frequently discusses how the most valuable thing he picked up from his experience of loss was the significance of communicating both the happiness and the suffering that life brings to the people who are closest to you. It was through the experience of losing Laura that he learned that the path to finding peace is not via ignoring suffering or appearing to be strong. Rather, it is through accepting the anguish with the support of loved ones and the unchanging presence of God. Within the context of his ongoing work, Don continues to communicate his religion, his story, and his music to the rest of the world. In order to assist people who are going through their own struggles, he is frequently asked to speak at conferences and other events. He uses his experiences to support and encourage others. It is his belief that feelings of loss and grief are an unavoidable component of life, but that they do not define us. It is the manner in which we choose to react to those losses, with faith, love, and the support of others, that has the potential to convert our sadness into something that is meaningful and beautiful. Don Moen has learned to live with the grief of losing his beloved wife, and he has found peace and purpose in ministry and the love of his family. Despite the fact that he will always carry the pain of losing his wife, he has learned to endure it when we are going through the most difficult times in our lives. His narrative serves as a poignant reminder that we are not alone. Even in situations where the path that lies before appears to be insurmountable, we can find the strength to move forward through the support of those who love us and the healing force of faith within us. You are very much appreciated for watching. Please know how much I value your assistance. You should make sure to leave a like and a comment below if you found this video to be enjoyable. I couldn't wait to get your feedback on this. Have a good time in the following video.